Beyond IQ, Discovering the Brilliance in Everyone by René Sonneveld. We live in a world obsessed with measuring intelligence. Labels like smart, average, or even gifted are often handed out based on scores from standardized tests. But what if we've missed something essential in our rush to categorize and rank? Intelligence isn't a fixed number or a simple trait. It's a rich, multifaceted spectrum unique to each individual. Through personal reflections and insights from pioneering thinkers like Gardner and Ken Robinson, this article challenges conventional wisdom, inviting you to explore intelligence not as something you have more or less of, but as something uniquely yours to discover, cultivate, and celebrate. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. I used to think I was the smart one in the family. Academic success, university degrees, lifelong learning. My brother, he struggled in school, labeled slow, later boxed into what we'd now call ADD. Yet years later, this same brother taught himself to instrument fly a Boeing 737 through complex IFR patterns and could paint like a seasoned artist. Meanwhile, I still sweat bullets landing a Cessna and hang pictures with a ruler. So am I more intelligent than he is? Not a chance, just differently wired. This realization led me to challenge the question itself. Rather than, who is more intelligent? We should ask, how is each of us intelligent? A brief history of IQ. Where did we go wrong? Originally, IQ tests were designed by psychologists such as Alfred Binet in the early 20th century to measure cognitive abilities like memory recall, logical reasoning, and pattern recognition. The goal was pragmatic: identify students needing extra educational support, not to permanently label someone's potential or intelligence. Yet the simplicity and convenience of IQ testing quickly became appealing, particularly within industrialized classrooms, where efficiency trumped nuance, assigning lifelong labels in a single morning. Despite Binet's explicit warnings that IQ scores were mere snapshots rather than enduring judgments, society embraced them as definitive. Consequently, many individuals whose talents lay outside traditional academia were misunderstood and underestimated. Real life, however, continually disproves rigid frameworks. Thinkers like Harvard psychologist Gardner in Multiple Intelligences and Ken Robinson in The Element inspire a more liberating question: not are you intelligent, but how are you intelligent? Gardner provided an expansive framework recognizing diverse intelligences, while Robinson introduced the transformative idea of discovering one's element, that sweet spot where passion meets natural aptitude. Robinson convincingly explained that true fulfillment and extraordinary achievement come from nurturing this alignment. Understanding our unique intelligences, then, isn't simply about identifying strengths. It's about cultivating lives rich in meaning, creativity, and purpose. Gardner's vision: how many ways are you intelligent? Gardner's groundbreaking book introduced 8 distinct intelligences, evident not just through tests, but in how we live, create, move, connect, and perceive the world. 1. Linguistic, mastery of language and expression. 2. Logical mathematical, skill in reasoning, logic, and pattern recognition. 3. Musical, sensitivity to sound, rhythm, and tone. 4. Spatial, ability to visualize and manipulate space. 5. Bodily kinesthetic, skillful body use, from dance to sports. 6. Interpersonal, understanding and connecting with others. 7. Intrapersonal, self-awareness, understanding personal motivations. 8. Naturalist, ability to recognize and classify patterns in nature. Gardner's model doesn't dismiss logic, it expands the table, making room for artists, athletes, nature lovers, and communicators alongside traditional mathematicians and scholars. Nobody excels in every area. Greatness emerges from leaning into our natural clusters and collaborating with others for the rest. My brother's cockpit mastery blends spatial, bodily kinesthetic, and logical intelligences. My craft, coaching leaders through emotional minefields, draws from linguistic, intrapersonal, and interpersonal intelligences. Same family, different intelligences, equally brilliant. Though admittedly, he's less likely to accidentally offend someone over dinner. Intelligence in real life. Can you spot it? If you've ever watched a mechanic diagnose engine trouble just by sound, you've witnessed intelligence in action. Intelligence appears in the gardener who intuitively senses plant compatibility, the coach who motivates by tuning into collective emotional energy, the child confidently navigating a playground's complexity, or the baker crafting recipes through texture and aroma rather than precise measurements. Intelligence isn't one-dimensional. It's uniquely expressed in each of us, enriching our world in unexpected, profound ways. We all have strengths, we all have blind spots. Albert Einstein struggled academically, was slow to speak, and appeared detached. Teachers labeled him lazy, unaware that his intelligence was visual, imaginative, and destined to reshape physics. Paul Orfalea, the founder of Kinko's, wrestled with dyslexia and ADHD, yet his brilliance emerged through exceptional interpersonal skills, creativity, and entrepreneurial vision. Similarly, Gillian Lynn, famously described by Ken Robinson, couldn't sit still in class, deemed problematic until her innate bodily kinesthetic genius was discovered. Freed from rigid expectations, Lynn thrived, becoming a celebrated choreographer. Einstein, Orfalea, and Lynn were not deficient. Their intelligences simply didn't align with traditional academic expectations. What's the cost of narrow thinking? Misunderstanding these varied intelligences has significant consequences. Schools traditionally reward linguistic and logical intelligence, causing many students to internalize harmful beliefs. I'm not smart. When children falter in rote memorization, their unique ways of learning, kinesthetic, auditory, visual, are misunderstood or ignored. This oversight doesn't just hinder talent, it damages self-esteem, leaving lasting scars. The truth is, excelling in traditional logic tests might earn you a seat at the table, but it won't guarantee you'll be heard or trusted. We've all encountered brilliant fools, masters of data but lacking empathy, impressive in theory yet disastrous in relationships. Logic without interpersonal or intrapersonal strengths leads to disconnection. You might win debates but lose trust. Our responsibility as educators, coaches, leaders, and parents isn't to label or limit potential, but to identify and nourish hidden intelligences. Does intelligence evolve over time? Ironically, Binet himself believed intelligence was fluid, continually evolving throughout life. The intelligence you had at 17 is vastly different from your intelligence at 47. Consider your own journey. Haven't you grown more self-aware, emotionally adept, or spatially skilled with age? These developments signify growth, learning, and the ever-changing nature of intelligence. I, for instance, have certainly become wiser, though I still can't hang a picture straight without a ruler, and my attempts at assembling flat-pack furniture remain a test of patience and spatial reasoning. Intelligence in relationship. Can understanding each other make us better? Gardner's model doesn't only enrich individual development, it strengthens human connections. When we appreciate that intelligence manifests uniquely, we become better equipped to truly understand others. Instead of labeling someone difficult, we begin seeing hidden strengths. Perhaps spatial brilliance overshadowed by linguistic hesitancy or emotional intelligence obscured by logical caution. Imagine how relationships could transform if we recognize this. Frustration at a coworker's spreadsheet struggles might shift to admiration for her intuitive grasp of team dynamics. A quiet child's discomfort with speaking might reveal thoughtful artistic precision instead of introversion. Appreciating each person's distinct intelligence fosters genuine connection, powerful leadership, and compassionate interactions. Intelligence isn't merely individual excellence. It's also about mutual understanding, bridging gaps, and creating spaces for diverse intelligences to flourish. Moving beyond labels. Multiple intelligence language can liberate a struggling student or energize a disengaged executive. Yet labels can also become limiting. I'm spatial, not numerical. Growth begins at the edge of comfort. The aim isn't to idolize our strengths, but to start from them, then expand. The future is meta-intelligence. In today's Google age, recall is inexpensive. Insight is priceless. The competitive advantage is meta-intelligence, the capacity to observe ourselves learning and adapt swiftly. My brother's flight simulator captures this perfectly. Every challenge, wind shear, engine flame out, demands immediate recalibration, fusing self-awareness and curiosity, trading the need to be the smartest for adaptability. This adaptive skill also underpins entrepreneurial agility and family leadership. The takeaway: intelligence isn't static, it's dynamic, shaped by practice, purpose, and passion. You're not fixed in your abilities. You're constantly evolving, just like everyone around you. Asking, how am I smart, instead of am I smart, reshapes the paradigm, fostering empathy, reframing potential, and promoting inclusion. Whether painting clouds, landing a jet, or resolving boardroom tensions, you're practicing intelligence. Next time someone boasts about IQ or frets about lacking it, shift the dialogue. How are you intelligent today, and how do you plan to grow tomorrow? The answer, yours or theirs, is the true measure. Because sometimes old labels simply cannot contain the brilliance they attempt to define. Thanks for listening. Please visit www.renesonneveld.com for more information or to contact René. See you next time.